Amazing. And then what other drums do you have within the collective? Do you have lots of people on similar drums, or does everybody have a slightly different sound to their drums? And does everybody with the same drum play the same rhythm, or has everybody got their own rhythm, or do they make up the rhythm as they go?
Yeah, so
lots of questions there for you.
Yeah, so Samba. So this is very different than what we do at Solhaven. Samba, you've got the serdu, so you've got the 1 and 2, which are the bigger drums, and then you've got a smaller version of the serdu, which I refer to as the fundu. So that kind of plays more of a roll, and then you'll have a kasha, which is like a snare drum. So somebody will be playing that kind of repeated kind of. That's the snare, kind of like what you would see on a traditional military band.
Yeah.
That's where that stems from. So in Samba, you've got the serdus were originally, that's from the military band of, say, the big drums that you would have on the horse. You've got the military drum of the snare. I play what's called a timbal, which is basically descended from the djembe. So it's playing with the hands, but it's a drum that's 4 foot tall that I use. And I'm probably the only person who can walk around with it.
It sounds really heavy. And what kind of a note does that make? It must make an incredibly deep, rich sound.
Yeah, that's quite deep. And again, the timbal, there are like, I think, 4 different sizes. So from one that's like 2 foot, 2 foot. So that's more easily to play for most people. I might be getting the sizes wrong. Somebody will probably correct me because I'm not sure. I'm just trying to think of the size. But I play quite a big one. It's kind of like when I put it on the floor, it comes up to my waist.
Okay. And is there a bit of bravado in having the biggest drum, or it's just the one that you like?
It's just the one that I like to play. I like to play with my hands. That's just what I like to do.
Yeah, really big drums. Okay, so you've got your drum in the studio. What are you going to demonstrate for us today?
I'm just going to play a pattern. So.
And that just continues the same.
That's absolutely right.
It is kind of hypnotic, isn't it? Because I just get lost in the sound and forget that we're live on the radio. But
yeah, so this is just to, you would use this maybe as a meditation. I use this to help people just kind of focus and drift off. But then you can change that.
That was awesome. That got quite fast though, didn't it? I've got to say. Just putting his drum down. It was almost like the beginning of the EastEnders. There was real drama there.
Yes, you can see how I started with a really slow beat, kind of that melodic, kind of you could use for meditation, and I speeded up to something a bit faster, and that again, these are things that I would use in a performance. It's not something that I'd expect somebody to do in one of the sessions, but we might, if you wanted to do that, we have like what we call as a free drum, where people can just play what they want, and there's opportunity to do that, and then you're speeding up, and that's what you're using in the dance, is to engage people. You're giving like that performance, that trills, to give that kind of excitement. And when I dance, that's what you're using. You kind of that quick ones, you're kind of doing a spin.
Do you know what I was struck by was that you weren't looking at the drum while you were drumming. You were looking straight ahead, cool, almost like you're on autopilot with your hands, and in your eyes it looked like you were somewhere else. And that was great, because that's kind of what you're saying, is that the drumming is your sole focus, that you're completely taken up by what you're doing, by the sounds and the rhythms.
Yeah, so that's where you're looking to get to, because you know, when I first started, I'm like kind of looking at the drum and country. I've been playing for 15 years now, and that's important when you're doing a performance, is that you're engaging with the audience, and you know, that muscle memory that you're learning of where to place your hands, and the way how you do those different things. And that's where you can lose yourself, but not lose yourself. Because I've been in an experience where I've been drumming and I've lost myself, and then I've lost the rhythm. You know, I've kind of wandered off somewhere. And obviously, if I'm performing, that's not what I want.
No, but you're still drumming. You're off somewhere, some kind of drum world in your head.
Yeah. So it's that kind of a meditative practice of I'm drumming, I'm in a different world, and I can just keep that going, and I kind of feel where that goes.
It's so interesting. And what I think is so exciting is that the drum is an instrument that anybody can get started with. It's not like you need thousands and thousands of lessons to know how to hit a drum. What comes with the practice is those rhythms and those skills. But to actually play the drum, anybody can just pick it up and start playing it, can't they?
Absolutely. Anybody. People often say to me, "Oh, I can't play. I've got no rhythm." I was like, "It comes. It's okay, because it's like you just think of your heartbeat. You know, it's just that you can just do something simple. That just dum 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 dum. Just keep something simple."
I think it's a lot easier when you've got somebody else playing the drum at the same time, because then they can keep the rhythm and you can just do your own thing. Is it difficult when you're leading a session and there's somebody wandering off in their own rhythm to kind of keep your rhythm in time, so that you're not playing at the same speed that they are if they're kind of going off on a different tangent?
It's something that I've got used to. Like I say, within the band, you've got people who are playing at different speeds, so that's normal to me. It's, you know, but it is difficult sometimes if you're playing in a community group and you've got somebody who just sometimes somebody will start playing and it's just completely different to everybody else, and you kind of like, oh. But then that's part of the letting go, and that's okay, because generally what happens is that the music settles and finds its own rhythm. You're creating a piece of music that has its own purpose. It's not about getting everything right. You're creating something together. So maybe the way they're playing is needed for that time, and that's okay. And I can just focus. I can just keep playing whatever it is that I need to play.
Oh, that's so interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and for doing the live performance here today.